All right. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, depending on where you are joining us from. Welcome to this movies webinar on buy versus build in streaming, the true cost of time, scalability, reality. My name is Shivashish, and I'll be your host for this event today. So, before we get started with the webinar topic, let me give you a quick overview of movie. Established in 2010 in United States with a vision to disrupt the global streaming market, movie today offers a wide range of streaming products, an entire ecosystem actually that caters to businesses of all shapes and sizes. So whether you are a small business or large scale enterprise, Movie's scalable product portfolio can adapt to all your streaming requirements. Are from comprehensive OTT platforms to fast channels, from on demand streaming to live streaming, from audio streaming to video streaming, and from deploying websites to apps for mobile and smart TV ecosystems, Movie has a solution for all your streaming needs, which can be accomplished with just a few clicks without the need for any coding knowledge. And the best thing now is Movie also now has its own streaming focused AI engine called Ali. Our flagship product, Movie One, has been rated as the number one OTT platform on G2. Additionally, our live streaming solution, Movie Live, was also honored as the best live streaming product by the readers of the Streaming Media magazine. So that's all about Movie. Now, coming back to the topic, over the last few years, one of the biggest strategic questions for anyone entering the streaming has become very simple but extremely expensive if answered incorrectly. Should you build your own streaming platform or should you buy a ready to launch solution? At the first glance, building appears attractive because it promises control, flexibility, and ownership. But once you move beyond the idea stage, the reality quickly expands into engineering complexity, infrastructure decisions, content security, compliance requirement, device compatibility, monetization architecture, and the list can go on and on. In today's webinar, we will look beyond assumptions and examine what building truly demands in 2026, the hidden costs, the real timelines, the scaling pressure, and the operational burden that appears after launch and not before it. And at the same time, we will also evaluate what buying a mature software as a service streaming platform changes in terms of speed, predictability, and global readiness. And to talk about this, we have with us Rahul Yadav, who is Director of Product and Platform Strategy. Rahul has experience in shaping streaming platform strategy across discovery, scoping, and execution. He works closely with customers and cross platform teams to translate customer and business requirements into scalable product roadmaps and implementation plans. Rahul has extensively worked in the product strategy and solutions engineering domains and has led multiple end to end initiatives focused on accelerating delivery, improving adoption, and supporting growth across global OTT customers. Welcome to the webinar, Rahul. And now it's over to you. And there's just one more request for our audiences. You can keep pushing your questions in the Q&A box, and Rahul will be answering, taking the Q&A towards the end of this presentation. Over to you, Rahul. Thank you.
All righty. Thank you so much, Shivashish, for the warm introduction. Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. Uh, Shivashish, please stop sharing. I'll take over from here. All righty. Build versus buy. So, with my experience working at Movie, I have worked with a lot of businesses who are somewhat struck in understanding what would be the right approach for them. Shall they go the build route and shall they go the buy route? And I see a lot of decision makers confused. So, in this webinar, we'll understand what most companies get wrong because they underestimate what building and owning a streaming platform means. We will cover all the cost of time, scalability, and ownership to understand when building makes more sense and when buying makes more sense. So, do you know 67% of failed software implementation happen because of wrong build versus buy decisions? The companies who have taken this decision informatively have noticed a faster go to market by 30%, and they have been able to save cost by 25%. This is according to a recent Forrester report. So, to understand why these issues arise, we first have to understand how the market has evolved, the OTT market. So, we can divide this market into three different sections. The first one is the early era when we were introduced to the platforms like YouTube. Second is the growth era when platforms like Netflix started popping up with Disney Plus, and in the current era where the number of OTT platforms are endless. So, in this entire evolution, what we have noticed is that the number of competition has increased dramatically, which has caused issues to the OTT platforms in terms of they have limited experimentation, because in the current phase there is very high churn rate because a lot of platforms in the market gives option to the end customer to switch easily. So in this stage, it makes more sense for the companies to focus more on their uh, end assets like their movies, their TV shows, which should be apt for the customers' requirements. So let's make this thing interactive and understand with the use case. Let's say you are building a platform like Twitch. So Twitch is a gaming streaming platform. Please do let me know with the hands up how many of you are gamers here. So the first misconception that I encounter a lot is we will simply build it because it's just an application. So it's very important to understand when we are talking about an application, it is never a single application. You are either catering to web or mobile users. This only is three different applications. And if you are also targeting TV users, so TV spectrum is very wide. You easily have to increase your application count by 5, because with platforms like Apple TV, Android TV, this development of front end gets very extensive. The second part in this application development is video infrastructure. You have to ensure that the video is getting ingested properly, is getting transcoded and packaged, and is available for all of your users across the globe. Because if you just focus on a particular geography, the people on other side of the earth will face issues like lag or buffering. Third is the backend systems. You have to ensure that all of your assets are in the right place. You can manage the metadata properly. You also have access to the user management and entitlements, and also monetizations. So in the earlier phase, when we were introduced to YouTube, the platform was free. We could watch video all day long. Then came in advertisements. Slowly, subscriptions started coming in. Now we are in the era where subscription, advertisements, and on demand are working hand in hand with hybrid monetization deployments. So when someone says that we will simply build the platform, build the application, it is not just one application, it has multiple components. But after you have covered all of this, we can say that you are done, right? There is one more step. That was just the very first layer of development. Apart from that, if you are building a platform like Twitch, you also have to ensure that you have a proper authentication process in place, like SSO, like social logins, sub profiles. You also have to give them option like channels, where they can create their own channel or follow a streamer which they are a fan of. You have to ensure that the stream is protected with DRM and encryption to ensure that the data is safe and the end users are in this space that whatever they are creating is cannot be misused. Then later on, you have to also provide tools like analytics, dashboards, reports for the big streamers to understand, so that they have the option to understand that where their major core viewers are coming from, so that they can take informed decisions. And after all of this, you also have to create n number of APIs and webhooks to ensure that everything is working in conjunction. So let's take a pause here and take a short poll to understand how you feel about all of this. So I see a very mixed response here. That is good. We want to ensure that we have a spread of thoughts, but faster launch and iteration is leading this poll. That is actually very interesting to see. Moving on. So now we have the application in place. We have created the backend. We have all of things in order. All right, Madhusmita, we can move on to the next slide now. So you have your application in place. You have taken care of the front end, the back end, and all of the things that come in between. So your development part should be over. The buy process is winning. But you have to understand that creating the platform is just the first step. Once the application is launched, that is the very first step in a marathon that you are going to run for a very long time. Because once the version 1 is launched, you have to take care of QA and regression, the maintenance, which is endless, the endless platform updates to ensure that you are providing your users with features which ensure that you are always ahead of the curve and you are not behind the competition. And then there is reliability and support. You have to keep on monitoring if any issues arise in your platform, your applications. If any update was not right, you have to conduct rollbacks. So this process is endless and ongoing. So to clarify, if you are building a platform like Twitch, it is not just about creating the front end or back end. The majority of work take place after the launch, which many companies don't even consider. And that is where the majority of the cost takes place. So what should an informed company do in such a stage? Because once they also have taken care of the TCO ownership part, there are still a lot of scaling challenges. Here we can take a small pause. I want to understand your thought process. So let's take a small poll again to understand what all of you feel. Interesting. A spread between monetization and application. But I see a lot of responses in all of the above as well. That is very correct. Why? Because once the development part is over, you have to take care of three different set of components which are part of scaling challenges. The first one is device. 44% of streaming users come from TV. So like we when we started this discussion, we are focusing just on web and Android and iOS. But if we introduce TV to the mix, that includes our application count to at least 10 plus. That is a very big number when you have to think in the process like 10 different applications will include 10 different QA and testing, 10 different feature updates. So that is a very big number of application to keep track of. Second is geography. 74% of the world is online today. So if you want to ensure that your end users, the viewers are coming from across the world, you have to ensure that your assets are spread across the world properly to ensure that everyone is able to view your content, your assets without any lag or any drop. And third is monetization. So when these platforms started popping up, advertisement was the leader. Then came in subscription. But in a recent study, it has been noticed that in the last 6 months, 40% of the users have canceled their subscriptions, and ad revenue is again on the rise. So this is a challenge that you have to keep on facing throughout your journey, because today we are introduced to monetization methods like advertisement, subscription, on demand. But tomorrow there can be different monetization method that might be introduced. Coins is one. Now people are giving option of collecting coins to access to more content. These features will keep on coming and you have to include them if you are planning to build your application. So now we come to a point where we have to understand, is there a framework which can help us to take informed decision? According to McKinsey, you should focus more on building your key differentiating features, and you should buy the rest. So to give you an example, if you I don't know how many of you have seen these new advertisements that pop up, which are very interactive. You can literally play card games or other type of interactions within those advertisements. If you are a company who's trying to get into that market, it makes more sense for you to create this functionality yourself, because none of the vendors are providing these functionality out of the box right now. So that can be a core capability for you. But apart from this, the functionalities and feature set which are readily available in the market and are provided by everyone, like billing systems, monetization methods, user management, analytics, encoding, transcoding. So these are the streaming features which are very widely available. Adding to this mix are functionalities of CDN, functionalities of security like DRM protection. So we already have very wide DRM protection like Widevine, Fair Play, Play Ready from Microsoft, which are very much set in their ways and are excellent when it comes to DRM protection. So it makes a little to no sense to develop these functionalities yourself, because you can get it from someplace which already has a mature uh, mix of these functionalities ready for you to purchase directly or partner up with. So once you think about all of these different set of functionalities, the decision taking gets much easier. You get a clarity of when you should buy and when you should develop the functionality yourself. Jumping more into the equation, uh, when it makes more sense for you to buy and when it makes more sense for you to develop the functionality. If you are a company which is working on a new feature and you have a lot of time with you, if you have a lot of uh, initial investment cost with you, and you have a team of developers which can develop the entire platform for you, and you have this logic in your mind that you can take care of the application post its launch, it makes more sense for you to build that particular feature. But if you are a company who is looking for a way to go to the market really fast, and you have a limited budget and limited set of developers with you, then it makes more sense for you to go the SaaS way. Because subscribing to a SaaS platform, you can easily get onboarded with thousands of features for less than $500 a month, and you get equivalent of development of 1 year plus initial incurred cost of close to $1 million. So that is a big difference. And how a SaaS platform like Muvi fit into the mix? So if you get onboarded onto Movie One only, you get direct access to tools like CMS, CDN, analytics of revenue and engagement. You get 16 plus OTT applications for TV, for mobile, for web, even for Xbox out of the box. And you don't have to even consider providing updates to it, because that is all handled by Movie. So all you have to focus upon is generating content for your end users and providing them with weekly updates in content department only, because the entirety of the tech stack is handled by Movie for you. Platforms like Movie, we are always introducing new functionalities like uh, monetization methods. Like recently, we are launching the coin system for applications of shorts format. So these are the functionalities that you never have to think about. One day, within a month or two, you are always introduced to new set of functionalities within your subscription. You don't even have to pay anything extra. So to summarize our entire discussion here, so it makes more sense for you to develop what is the differentiating factor, a new feature which no one is offering in the market. It makes more sense for you to develop it. Your content should be your key. You should be in the space where you are able to provide exclusive content to your end users. You should focus more on things like growth, strategies, and marketing, and leave the rest to SaaS companies like Muvi when it comes to development of the tech stack for you, maintenance of it, uh, conducting daily regression tests over it to ensure that the tech stack is functioning fine and you can focus on bigger things. Finally, when I come to the last slide, this is a question that should come to your mind. Yes, you can build, but should you build? The decision is not whether building is possible. The decision is whether owning the entire stack, all the complexities, all the headaches, is the best use of your time and capital. With this, I would ask my team to launch the poll here. All right, guys, there is no right answer to this, but I see a spread across all four. But whatever we have discussed, I can definitely see reflecting in the poll. So in the end, it is important to understand how to utilize your time effectively and properly, because churn rate have increased dramatically over the past few years. People have access to a lot of OTT platforms, a lot of content, and you have to ensure that staying in one specific domain and developing everything out of the box, putting in effort of more than a year and developing hundreds of functionalities to only face challenges in terms of launch and adoption rates. So it will make more sense to onboard on functionalities which are readily available and can be get accessed via just a single click of a subscription button, and developing everything else which is not provided by the market out of the box, and working on things that matter, ensuring that your reach in the market is excellent, working on your marketing strategies and growth strategies, working with content partners who can provide excellent content to you to ensure that if anyone lands on your OTT platform, they will definitely stay for the long haul and not for just a specific content format. So, with that, I am wrapping this PPT. Just a food for thoughts. It is very easy in today's market to develop the first version with AI. This is a common thing that is changing in the market. But you have to understand one thing: AI is excellent when it comes to the development of front end. So, to give you a personal experience, I have a passion for developing side projects, mainly websites. So I develop a lot of front end with the help of AI. That is not an issue. But the back end is where AI struggles, because you have to ensure that you always are up to date. You are providing security features to your back end so that there are no backdoors from where possible threats might come from. So building version 1 is very easy, but maintaining it for the long haul is a very difficult game, and it is not a task for a single person. So this is where the limitations of build come in. You need a dedicated team to ensure that security and all the functionalities are always up to date, and this is where the strength of SaaS comes in. You can leave all of that aside with the SaaS company. They will take care of everything from providing updates and new functionalities, and you just have to focus on something bigger. So with that, I would like to wrap this presentation, and we are open for Q&A.
All right, thank you so much, Rahul. Now we can take the questions as they are coming. Rahul, we have a question from Larry, and the question is regarding the costs. Can you tell us what the basic platform for iOS Android would cost monthly plus a simple setup?
Sorry, Shivashish, can you repeat the question?
Larry wants to know that what is the cost for a basic setup for iOS Android, and which monthly the monthly
All
cost
right.
plus a simple setup.
All right, all right. So, hi Larry, thank you so much for the question. Uh, if you are setting up a few applications only, specifically iOS and Android, yeah, if you go with the SaaS route, I'll take the example of Movie only. If you opt for Movie One, you can start your subscription for as low as 399 per month. That gives you the entire spectrum of the movie platform. You can create n number of you can upload n number of content. You can customize how the posters and everything will look for your application on the front end. You get access to analytics and certain monetization methods. So if you go the SaaS route, you can be live in the market in less than 2 weeks with a nominal subscription fee. If you are going the development route, I need to. So that would be a very interesting use case if we can connect later on in person. But basic platform would definitely, if you're going the buy route, it will definitely set you back uh, 300K and 4 to 5 months of development.
All right, I hope this answers your question, Larry, and our team will connect with you shortly post this presentation. The next, there is a request from JTV to send a recording. I'm sure that's been noted. We'll send it for sure. The next question, Rahul, that's coming from Saj. Does Movie help us integrate with platforms like Roku and Amazon Prime?
All right. Thank you so much for the question. Yes. Movie covers 16 plus applications, and Roku TV is one of them. We also have support for Fire TV. When you are talking about Amazon Prime, it depends on the uh, viewing device, because I'm pretty sure when you say Amazon Prime, you mean Amazon Fire TV. So, Movie does support that platform as well, that applications for that platform as well for out of the box. Yes.
Okay, we have a question from Eric. How flexible is the movie platform when integrating with telecom partners for zero rating, IP whitelisting, or sponsored data models? And would we face any limitations compared to building our own infrastructure?
Hi, Eric. Thank you for the question. That is a very technical question. Uh, so, when it comes to movie platform, compared to our competition, we which provide integration with very limited uh, billing integrators. A movie comes pre-integrated with 10 plus payment gateways. That is one, and we are always evolving. If there is something that we are not able to provide out of the box, we can take it up as a configuration for you, and ensure that you are always on top and ahead of your competition. You can definitely create whitelisted applications on Movie. Any limitations compared to building our own infrastructure? So, Eric, I would require more details on this, but definitely, if you are setting up your own infrastructure, that would come with multiple roadblocks, because building the version 1, as I mentioned, is easy, but even then it comes up with a lot of challenges, technical challenges. You will be developing multiple feature sets and functionalities, and once you are done with that, you have to ensure that everything is integrated tightly and working in conjunction. So that actually increases your time estimate significantly, which you totally avoid when you opt for a SaaS vendor who has already run all the testing and ensure that everything is working in one fluid motion. So I hope that answers your question, Eric.
All right. The next question is coming from Claude. Hello, we are based in West Africa. What are the PPV options beside Visa? Are prepaid Visa accepted? Is there a possibility to integrate mobile money? And how long can I stream live on a basic subscription of $99? That's for movie live, I believe.
Yeah. Hi, Claude. Thank you for the question. Uh, So, when it comes to PPV setup, so that is so how that thing works. Let's say you have a platform and you have uploaded 5 different movies on it. Two of them you have set up in a pay-per-view model. So once your end user goes to that particular video and tries to watch it, he will be redirected to a payment gateway of your choice, one of the multiple that we've already integrated on our platform. He will be paying over there. So PPV setup is different than payment gateway payment system. So PPV can be set up out of the box on movie platform, and once that is selected by your end user, he'll be redirected to a payment gateway to finalize the payment. We can absolutely integrate with any payment gateway. Um, I am pretty sure that we are all already pre-integrated with mobile money, but I have to check that. But if not, we can integrate it very fast as well. How long can I stream live on a basic subscription of $99? So, Claude, important thing to understand is different buckets of different SaaS products comes with different limitation and functionalities. You can check that on movie.com/pricing. There you will have access to detailed comparison tables of different plans. So there will be limitation in terms of total concurrent viewers. But apart from that, there is no limitation how long you can stream. That totally depends on the infrastructure fees incurred on the basis of streams. Can we integrate links in picture pics like Instagram directly? Yeah, absolutely, Claude. To answer your second question, with movie platform, you can customize your metadata as well. So unlike many competition who have a preset of metadata functionality, on movie platform for individual content, you can create multiple metadata entries, so that once a user lands on that particular movie or TV show on your website or application, you can showcase links to your Instagram direct link under it as well. So that is that. I hope, Claude, I answered your question.
All right. And also, Claude will be happy to schedule a one-on-one with you. Your details have been noted, and our team will contact you shortly. So the next question is, again, we have a question from Larry. Is the SaaS version GDPR compliant?
Hi, Larry. Thank you again for your question. It is, yes, the movie platform is GDPR compliant. You can check more details on movie.com. We have we have definitely have some help articles over there which can give you more clarity about our GDPR compliance.
Okay, I hope this answers your question, Larry. The next question is from Michael. Is it possible to start out with a SaaS on 10 different app stores? That is like the iOS, Apple, Amazon Fire, LG, Viso, Android, while building the development with Movie?
Hi, Michael. I hope you're doing well. Thank you so much for the question. Absolutely, Michael. With Movie, you get support for 16 plus different applications spread across web, mobile, TV, and even platforms like gaming devices like Xbox. So, once subscribed, you can definitely develop applications for all of these listed different apps applications, and can be published to different app stores as well.
I hope this answers your question, Michael. So the next question is coming from Ermias. How much is the buying option only for VOD streaming with yearly maintenance and upgrade options? So he wants to know about the pricing, I guess, for movie one.
Yeah, Shivashish, can you please share the pricing link in the chat if possible? So it might answer questions for a lot of people here.
Yeah, sure. I'll just push the link in the messages in the message options. We
Alrighty.
have another question from again Claude. Do you integrate pay options like Orange Pay would be possible because it's the most used pay method.
Yeah, Claude, like I mentioned, Movie comes pre-integrated with multiple payment gateways. Also, all of this information is already available on movie.com. You can reach out to the website, and you can have a look at all the different payment gateways that we already have. We have a lot of payment gateways already pre-integrated for Africa region, but if anything is not provided over there, we can definitely integrate it within a few weeks. So that is not an issue. Movie has been in this domain for more than close to 15 years. So we do hold some expertise in the domain of streaming, of monetization, payment gateways, and all. So I hope that answers your question, Claude.
Okay, so we have a question that's coming from LinkedIn, Rahul. If a company wants flexibility but wants to avoid full custom build risks involved, what does a practical hybrid model looks like according to you?
Can you please repeat the question, Shivashish?
So if a company wants flexibility but also wants to avoid full custom build risks involved, what does a practical hybrid model looks according to you?
Alrighty. Thank you so much, Mr. X, whoever you are, for the question. So that is a very good question, actually. So, so the most important thing here to understand is how much uh, the ownership part of things is important for you. So, and what functionalities you would definitely like to own yourself. So that will give you more insights about uh, if development uh, is the right way forward for you. To give you an example, if let's say I am Disney, and my key strength is providing movies and TV shows. That is the key differentiating factor that I have. For me, that is something that I would like to own, and everything else. So if I just have to spread across my content to the world, so it makes not a lot of sense for me to develop it. I mean, don't quote this. If I am Disney, I would definitely be developing a lot of things myself if they are something that I want. But if I'm not a very big vendor, but I have a lot of content will be important for me. Similarly, you have to understand what is more important to you. If you are also someone who would like to develop something, but want to avoid the risk of it, I would suggest you to go and explore some SaaS platforms, I would suggest you to take a small demo of movie platform. So it will give you more comfort and more understanding to to take a decision if you should go the buy route or build route. So that, I hope, answers your question.
All right, I think we have a last question. Is Movie Player VAST 4.x compliant and specifically built to support companion ad zones and overlay rendering?
Hi again, Eric. So that is a very technical questions. The technical question, Eric. I am really sorry, but I don't think I have the domain expertise to answer that question. But I'll ensure to reply back to you on this question, Eric. I have taken a note of it.
All right, well, that's it for today. Thank you so much for joining us in this webinar.
Alrighty. Thank
As
you, everyone.
Thank you, Rahul, again for taking out your time and doing this for us.
More than happy to be here, Shivashish, and thank you all for taking out your valuable time. I know this is between weekdays only, so it means a lot that all of you are here. I really appreciate you taking your time out, and I look forward to interacting with all of you really soon.
So, also for all our guests who had joined, as a token of appreciation, we are attaching a handout on buy versus build that you can now see on your comment section. You can download it. It will give you further clarity on whether you should build your own platform or get a SaaS platform like Movie to do that building for you. So, as you know, Movie keeps conducting such webinars regularly on some interesting industry topics and also to showcase some of Movie's best offerings. I would request you all to keep a lookout for on our social media channels and LinkedIn and our website for links to the next webinars. The latest webinar that we're going to host will be Building OTT for Emerging Markets, and that will talk about the payment language and infrastructure that is required in the emerging sections to help them launch highly scalable platforms. Till then, I hope you all have a very nice day ahead. Thank you so much.